I have a question specifically for you, Julie, because, many young people from Hong Kong are not satisfied with what happened in Hong Kong in the past few years. And especially many, like we call it separatists, or those who claim they want independence from Hong Kong because they want Hong Kong to go back to a free society which has real democracy. But you've been through the colonial era of Hong Kong. And just a few months ago, last month, you also went back to China. You also visit Hong Kong, SAR. So you see the current Hong Kong as well. Can you share with us your experience, your observations?
Yeah, I was born and raised in Hong Kong during the colonial times. And we went through a period where the British Empire had all the power and authority over the colony of Hong Kong. We had no electoral rights at all. The governor was appointed by England, and he had all the rights and powers and authority to appoint the public officials. England practiced a thing called a benevolent dictatorship, in which they will hold the country very tight. At the same time, they will give you a lot of freedom to thrive economically. So the Chinese people, being as industrious as they are, and also very entrepreneurial, and they are very good merchants, they enjoyed this freedom, market freedom, and where they were able to build up a very prosperous Hong Kong. At the same time, the Hong Kong government, it's always reigned superior. And I think what is very damaging actually to the Hong Kong colonialism is that the colonial mindset just pervades throughout the 150 years of colonialism by the British, that they felt that white people are superior and that they felt that everything Western is superior. Because we did enjoy a period of prosperity and peace, while China was undergoing civil war, famine, and their own internal strife. We were shielded, and we had this peaceful society where we can thrive and develop and cultivate. I always never felt comfortable in Hong Kong growing up as a teenager. I always felt stifled, and that there has got to be a place where I can breathe easier, because you don't have a citizenship. Jingjing, you're a Chinese citizen, and you're very proud to be one. I'm an American citizen, and I'm proud to be one too, because I have a country where I can say I'm a citizen. And I'm also proud that whenever I go back to China, they accept me too, also as a daughter, of the country. This kind of thinking is very damaging to the psyche, because when you don't have a citizenship, when all you have is a passport that says that you can go to England, but you cannot stay there. Okay, you can go there for temporarily, and then you cannot stay there. Meanwhile, there was no right to vote for the Chinese people in Hong Kong. The rights came about a few years before Britain left Hong Kong. I think that's a poison pill that they put there, just to make it hard for you.
They always do that.
Yeah, that's the poison pill.
Every colonies.
Right. And so a lot of these young people in Hong Kong feel that, wow, they want to be, British, they want to be westernized. They carry the Union Jack flag, they carry the American flag. They don't know what we went through when we were, thick in the colonial mindset. For example, when we go to movie theaters, we have to stand up for the national anthem the British national anthem. Can you imagine? And all these Chinese people had no idea what they were standing up to, but they were required to stand up, and then they play the British national anthem, and when it's done, and we all sit down, and they have a picture of the Queen Elizabeth. They have no connection with that, but they were required to do that. And all the good jobs in the high government went to the English people. And in the beginning of the colonial period, Chinese people were not allowed to live in the peak area or the mid-level. They were required to live in the lowlands, because that's reserved for the British people. And also at that time, they used, in the early days of the colonial period in Hong Kong, they adopted China's feudal punishment under the Manchurian dynasty. So they used very harsh punishment against the Chinese people, and the British people were exempt from that. The British people had their own set of laws, and the Chinese people had their own set of laws. Eventually, that was removed. A lot of the people who talk about riots of 2019 did not know that in 1965, there was also a huge riot, but the riot was against the British government. It was a pro-China riot. And in that riot, the British government handled it very harshly. They just mowed down people, they killed people, about 70 people were killed, and in this last riot in 2019, not one person was killed by the Hong Kong government. I think that they should really appreciate what they have, and the democracy and the freedom that they enjoy now was something that I didn't have when I was growing up as a part of the British colony. I didn't have that freedom. I didn't have the freedom to vote. They can vote now, okay? They have their own electoral voting system where they can participate in voting for the governor and also for district representatives, as well as for the broad legislative offices. And they can run for office, and they have freedom of speech. They can say whatever they want to say, and as long as they do not commit what every country forbids, and that is seditious behavior, terrorism, and also there's one more which I forgot now. But these are the things that all countries would not tolerate. And now, and that's what they have. And yet they are saying that, oh, we want the independence, we want freedom. I think they are being used. They are really pawns. And I hope that they can think clearly in their minds, go back to Hong Kong and enjoy what you have right now, and not live in that narrow sphere of fantasy land, you know, where you're dreaming of something that no country can offer you, that you can go in and burn the flag and burn the offices and take down the government and demean the people that are offering you services. No country will offer you that and allow you to live freely in such an atmosphere.
I just want to add on that the comparison of the riots during colonial rule and after Hong Kong was returned to the mainland, because you said the protests against the British government, the colonial rule, the British government used very harsh punishment to the rioters, to the protesters. But during the riots in Hong Kong in 2019, not a single bullet was fired from the Hong Kong police. They only used a rubber bullet, tear gas. And the police was very refrain, actually. They were the one who got beaten up, got encircled, attacked. You said there were no people killed during the riots in 2019. Actually, there were. But it was the people who called out the rioters. You are destroying our city. Yeah. And the rioters, the young students, lit the old man on fire, killed him live with fire. Another old man also got killed because the young protesters threw a brick to him and killed him. The casualties of the riots were the average citizens of Hong Kong who just love this city and don't want to see riots. So I mean, the contrast of these two riots basically tells the difference, right?